Hello YouTube, my name is SuperNova RS and this is my Stealing Creations guide. Stealing Creations is a members only minigame and in my opinion is one of the most fun. It is very helpful with skilling because the rewards will provide you with a double XP. I'm going to be providing you with a brief overview of all that Stealing Creations has to offer, from the combat aspect to the skilling aspect. Okay, so first off, you're going to want to make sure you're on Stealing Creations World 45, as this minigame has a player capacity limit as an attempt to prevent boosting for Stealing Creations points. Yes, people do it. Once you have logged in, climb into either side of the caged-in area. The side you choose decides on the team that you will be on. As you can see near the top right corner of my screen when you are in the cage, you will see your team's combat and skilling stats versus the enemy's combat and skilling stats. Not always, but very commonly the team with the higher stats will win, so keep that in mind when choosing your team. Alright, so for the recommended skills for this minigame, the recommendation is 80% in all skills. This will provide you with the skill set to do everything in Stealing Creations to the maximum ability. Of course, just like any other thing in Runescape, if your stats are higher, you will have an advantage, and if they are lower, you can still play the game successfully. No gear is required for this minigame, as it is all obtainable when you begin Stealing Creations. So a little bit about Stealing Creations that you're going to want to know. Stealing Creations is a game based on tiers, such as Dungeoneering. The tiers in Dungeoneering are every 10 levels, and in this minigame, they're going to be every 20. So Tier 1 items require level 1, Tier 2, 20, Tier 3, 40, and so on. That's why 80 plus in all skills is recommended. Stealing Creation is going to start off a very fast-paced game, because very often the team that is able to gear up the fastest at the beginning will win overall. So the first thing to do is to jump on a lower tier station. Since I have 99 woodcutting, I decided to go for a tier 3 to begin with. Once you grab your first low-level clay, you're going to want to scope out a high-level station that you are able to use, as I spotted the tier 5 mining station. Then you are going to want to find a creation kiln, and use your lower tier clay to create the needed tool to use on your high tier station. As you can see, I created a tier 3 pickaxe. Once you have your tool, go to the designated station, and for example in my case, mine until you receive a tier 5 piece of clay. Two of the most important stats to have for Stealing Creation are 80 crafting and 80 smithing, so that you are able to create items and tools that you will need. Use your high tier clay to then create a high tier tool and return to your designated station and gather a large inventory of high tier clay like so. Once you have gathered your inventory, you need to make gear for your character. If you're going on the combat route, your priority should be as follows. First weapons, then ammo, then armor, then food, potions, familiar, and miscellaneous. If you are choosing to go on the skilling route, you should have two options. You can risk making stackable items such as ruins, arrows, or summoning scrolls to save time from making trips to the base and back. But again, that is at the risk of being pickpocketed or dying and losing potentially a very large sum of points. When going on the skilling route, you get your points by taking items back into your team base and setting the items in the center table. This will be the only method that will give you a chance at getting top score for the round. Note, rounds are 20 minutes long and there is a countdown in the top right hand corner of your screen, and your points are shown in the top left hand corner. Now I will show you what it's like to go the combat route. This method does not get your team many points, but it is essential in keeping the other team from getting points, and is also in my opinion much more fun. Notice I geared up in range gear, but do not forget prayer pots like I did. I don't know how I forgot those. Prayer is a very important part in Stealing Creations, and I do recommend doing Temple of Sunstein, or however you pronounce it, and using curses. Okay, once you gear up, now it's time to have some fun. whenever you have your gear, you can pretty much run around and kill whoever you like. It's good to target the people that maybe do not have any armor on or anything, that seem to be collecting clay from mining plots or anything. One very popular method, if your team is, again, this only works if your team is beating the other team very badly in combat wise, you can actually run, as I'm doing, to the far opposite corner of the map of Steel and Creations where their base is located. Because once your team starts clearing out all the people on the map, they will respawn there, and you can just easily kill them as they come out, and they are helpless and cannot do anything. They do get a small amount of points from dying, which is very weird. I do not know why, but other than that, like, there's no way they will win if they're being spawn trapped. Now, here's some more information that I'll just provide with you over Steel and Creation. Some stats, some tricks you might want to use. As you can see from this clip, there's these things called smoky barrages or whatever. You can run into those. They're the big fuzzy blobs. If you run in, you disappear and you can no longer be attacked. You can hide in there for as long as you like. You can camp outside if someone you're trying to kill is hiding in there. And yeah, there's other interesting things you can do, such as pickpocketing on here, which is a good way to steal stuff. There's some methods you can hide in the blob and pop out and pickpocket people and go back in if you want to make money that way. I will say that it is at least required for you to have 79 pickpocketing to pickpocket everyone, because you can pickpocket up to 20 levels above you. So if you have 79, you're going to be able to pickpocket people with 99. Now, other than that, I'll just kind of go over some of the objects in Steel and Creation, and I'll show little mini clips of me using them. There is rifts that you can jump over, requiring 60 agility. There's walls you can climb over, I believe requiring 80 agility. You can give items to your teammates. That's one thing you can do. You don't get any points for it, and your teammate doesn't lose any points for it. Now, the last thing that I'll be covering is one way that you can lose money, but I guess if you are desperate, in your base there will be items, and if you pick those up, then you can take the items from your base that other players of your team have provided. But that's going to hurt you. You're going to lose a lot of points for that, and most of the time doesn't work. If you're spawn trapped, you're pretty much done. You might as well just sit in your base and have some fun. But as you can see, my team is winning this time, and once you have 1 minute left on the clock, you're going to want to run back to your base, and hopefully no one's chasing you, pickpocketing you, and you're going to want to deposit everything you have for the maximum amount of points into that center table as we went over before, and just sit and wait for the game to end. Alright, and after the game ends, you're going to have this screen pop up. It's going to say, oh, your valiant team takes the victory, and you're going to have awards such as most clay gathered, most points, most deaths. You don't want to get that one. Highest personal score, lowest personal score, and just basically all that. Now, after you win a certain amount of games, you can come over to this tent right here, and you can actually trade rewards with this NPC. And these are the things you can spend your points on. Like I was talking about earlier, the armor, wouldn't recommend it, it's terrible, but you have those volatile amorphic tools, which, just read about those in the settings, and those are great. You can get double XP for certain skills that are just annoying, and it's a way to get double XP off those by playing a fun minigame. Other than that, that concludes my guide to Steel and Creation. I hope you enjoyed it. Give me a thumbs up and a subscribe if you like it. Thank you. Have a good one.